it's weird because we're in Sweden, so it's like we're completely removed from society, and I haven't left at all, and so it's sort of been like this little bubble, and it's been really, really beautiful. It's an incredible feeling to show up on set in the morning and to know that regardless of how you feel, what you feel like you can do, or what you're capable of or not capable of, that there's someone there that's going to hold you through the entire thing and carry you through regardless of what you're doing, you know? And that takes a lot of stress. It took a lot of stress off of me because I just knew that I could show up, and regardless of how I felt, that Lars would be there to take care of me. Everything that you could possibly think of as an actor, he's already thought of 100 times. But he's very passionate as well, and especially during the shooting, I think he comes from a very emotional place. And, when things kind of get tense or we're behind schedule, then all of a sudden you see this Lars go into gear that's like the producer Lars, and very organized and can get anything done under any time constraint. But when there's a lot of time and we can take a lot of liberties, he becomes a very sensitive, emotional being, and he can read your heart. He can read your heart. Everything is pretty much empty on the set, except for him for the most part, and the other actors and the focus puller, and you can feel his presence, and I think that's the way that he directs. It's when you're acting in a scene, you're acting with the person who's in the scene with you, and you're also with Lars. Like I can sense him, and I can feel when I'm going in the right direction or when I'm going in the completely wrong direction, and then he'll just say very simple things like 25% less, or 2% more, or, make a determined face, which is something that we discovered early on, or in this scene she's very emotional, in this scene she's very determined, in this scene it's a marriage of the two. It's very simplistic because the text is so complicated and the ideas are so complicated that it's just much easier if just everything is simple and not very complicated. There's no decoration to mask anything. They're not going to be able to make this film aesthetically pleasing no matter how hard they try, because there's no set basically, and I have like 2-3 costumes in the entire movie, and the hair and the makeup is all, all the movie is the story and the performances. That's what the movie is. It's a tremendous role, and I felt a big responsibility, not just because of the role, but because of the film itself. I think this is a very important film, and I think there's a place for this film right now, and it's very timely, and it's very essential for people to open their eyes to some of the issues that are brought up in this. And so it was a big load, because I just didn't want to mess it up. I mean, there was just the script itself was such an important piece of text, and then I didn't want to degrade it in any way by being in it and not fulfilling something. I just wanted to add if I could, I gave my absolute best. I really did. I tried my best. And I'm relieved for that, because if I had done anything short of that, I would have been really disappointed in myself for a very, very long time, because it's a tremendous gift to be a part of a project like this. And it is bizarre to sort of come in as an American. There are very few Americans on this production. And there's this book, A Movable Feast, that Ernest Hemingway wrote, and I think he said when he was in Paris, he wrote about Michigan, and when he was in Michigan, he wrote about Paris. And what I sort of gather from that is that you can only see things objectively when you leave a place. And so I've learned more about being an American and being from America and how I feel about America being in Sweden than I could have ever have known being in New York or Los Angeles or Connecticut or Oklahoma or Utah, you know? So, yeah, I've become sort of more American than ever and more political than ever and patriotic in a weird sense. And Lars is more American than anyone I've ever met in a weird way. Where he cares more about America. He cares a lot about it. He has his Free America campaign.